Hi guys, welcome to Deli, the weekly show by me. I'm Diksha and I'm the head of comms at Gator.io. And welcome to this week's show. And again, this week we're going to be talking about a lot of exciting stuff. I know you must be aware of a lot of headlines that are making news from last week, including the Beatles NFT being sold for 70 million US dollars, 69 to be precise, and a lot of news about the ETH, uh, which is the EIP 1559, which is going to be launched in July. So we're going to be covering all of this. So let's get started. The first and foremost thing that I want to start this session is with this rumor around the crypto ban in India, the crypto crackdown, and apparently the government's working on a bill and it's going to be passed soon, and it will impose a lot of restrictions on cryptocurrency trading, and specifically on some cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin. However, reports are saying that the government's going to be very, very blockchain technology supportive, but they're going to be cracking down on some of the crypto coins, as they say. It's been, I personally believe that, I don't know what are the sources of these reports. They have been doing some rounds on the medias this week, particularly since the weekend. But as I said, I don't know what are the sources of these news, but I personally believe that, when I heard the finance minister talking about it, what it kind of indicated is that India won't be putting a blanket ban on crypto, and that's what I personally feel. However, everything is WIP and is being talked about. Nothing has been finalized or passed or put across to people from sources that matter, like the government. So yeah, it's a wait and watch thing now again. And for me personally, this rumor, when it comes, especially for the Indian audience or for the Indian crypto traders, it creates a lot of panic, right? Because they don't know where's it going, and there's so much what do you say, like uncertainty or FUD around it, which is really sad, right? Because we've seen that all other countries are coming across putting really promising structures and at least narratives, like if not structures or for the matter rules and regulations, there are really promising narratives from other countries, that make people in the crypto industry really confident about, the promise that the technology has is really in tandem with how regulatory bodies or the governments are thinking, which is really important, because innovation is one thing and adoption is definitely something that comes along with innovation, but in something which is so engrossed in the financial, it's a deep part of the financial ecosystem, and it really coincides with it. So it's very important that we need to have a very, very clear eye on what's the regulators thinking, right? We can't be doing our own thing. So it makes me sad that that's what's happening in India, because it's really panicky for the traders there and even the companies, because they don't know where is it going, right? So that's my view on the crypto crackdown rumor, or rather reports that I've seen on the media. Moving on, NFT is my favorite topic, right? Because I'm buying any NFT or I own it. I don't own any NFT yet, but it's just interesting, right? Because of a couple of reasons. One is it's driving a lot of mainstream attention, along with adoption, right? Everyone's talking about NFTs from the mainstream media to general people on LinkedIn who've never traded in crypto before. Obviously there are conversations on Twitter on NFTs, and I'm sure it's one of the most searched topics in Google as well. I'm not sure. I haven't looked up yet, but that's my hunch. But yeah, I mean, even if it's not, I've seen a lot of conversations coming from newbies, from people who've never known about crypto, not even interested in crypto, and they're talking about the ownership and how NFTs dealing with it, and not necessarily they're saying good things about it, also because they don't understand it inside out, but there is a conversation, and something which is so new is driving that conversation in itself is a big deal, right? So I mean, after what happened last week, which is the Beeple's NFT got sold for 69 million US dollars, there was a huge thing going on, right, in the media and on Twitter, and people were asking, like, why is someone paying so much for a JPEG, and what is he going to use it for, and things like that. I mean, even I had those thoughts, and I've been looking for those answers to get a more stronger perspective of what NFTs do offer. And after I thought about it, it's really not about the JPEG or particular thing, or that object or painting. It's or the art. For the song, it's really about how the perception of value is changing. Like, how we value physical objects or virtual objects. How's that going to change? Like, physical objects are owned physically, right? It's more like a psychological thing to own something, like, to own a car. And what it really means is that you're able to tell the world or the society or the people that you own this, or that's how that feeling of ownership comes, right? Otherwise, you're just using it for something. Sometimes you don't use paintings, or you don't use certain vintage pieces for anything. They're just there, right? And when you have people over, and when you show them, hey, we got this from this market or whatever, that's the ownership. That's a sense of ownership that psychologically has been in the society. But now with NFTs, that is changing, right? Or that might change, which means that if I own something, I can also own it virtually if I don't own it physically, and I can own it physically as well as virtually. So that perception of value is changing, and if I own it digitally, right, I can create a value tech ecosystem, or a value roadmap for it. Like, for example, if Beeple's artwork is owned by the metaverse founder, he can use it in the metaverse, and he could probably make more money out of it than he spent. Who knows? So that's something that I perceive it to be, and that's how it's changing the way perceive value and the way people look at ownership. Also, there are a lot of other narratives around how artists can communicate with their fans, with their audience, how can they engage with a more wider community, and how that community can be more powerful and more engaging with artists. They're trying to have a communication through the art, right? So that's what I feel it is. By the way, there was a lot of rumor, or a lot of conversation around who got the people who bought the people NFT, and apparently there were a lot of bidders, and these bidders, they didn't know who's the other person bidding, and reports were saying that the founder of Tron, Justin Sun, is the buyer, but apparently the metaverse founder is the buyer, and it has been there out on the weekend, and it's interesting. And when he was being asked that, the bidder was Justin Sun, who was bidding for this NFT, and he went on to say that he actually didn't know that who was bidding for it, and he had a certain budget, and he was sticking to the budget. So that's interesting, right? Because physically, when these auctions happen, it's not like that. You know who's bidding how much, right? And you can raise your bidding price based on that. And sometimes people do make those decisions, but in this process, which is happening digitally, it's different. So that's another perspective, to look at. So again, the way the ownership runs or functions will change with NFTs, hopefully. Um, yeah, so the bidding for every days, which is the first 5,000 days by people, was a mosaic of every image that he made since 2013, and it actually opened at $100 on Feb 25 and was pushed to 1 million in under 20 minutes apparently, and and the first three bidders were actually known to him, and ultimately it got sold for $69 million. So that's how it is. Of course, there's been more NFT conversations, which includes Twitter's. Hi guys, I cannot read your comments. Why don't you write in English? Because I don't understand Chinese, guys. But hi everyone. So so there have been a lot of other NFT mania around the internet, including Jack Dorsey's tweet, which he's declaring as an NFT, and it's still not sold. CryptoPunk's 7804 sold for 7.56 million. Then Banksy's piece was purchased and sold for 382k US dollars. And also AZ16 is putting money in OpenSea, which is a marketplace for NFTs. So it is getting huge, it is getting mainstream, it's driving the adoption for crypto. Yeah, and of course more investors are putting in money in crypto firms. BlockFi, raised Series D funding. Then in NYDIG, which is the Bitcoin subsidiary of Stone Ridge, known for getting insurance company Mask Mutual to allocate capital to Bitcoin a few weeks back, announced a $200 million US growth round that they raised recently from Morgan Stanley and a fund management company, also from Mass Mutual and New York Life, and there were more. So that's also you know that PayPal has confirmed the buying of the Cryptoform Curve, which is a provider of cloud-based infrastructure for cryptocurrencies, and as the payment company's first acquisition in the crypto field. So that's there. And also JP Morgan is looking to offer clients a way to invest in crypto through structured notes linked to cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrency-focused companies and the JP Morgan Exposure Basket, as they call it, will hold 11 stocks, including a 20% stake in MicroStrategy, an 18% weighing Foursquare, and a 15% for Riot Blockchain and chipmaker NVIDIA. And the basket, curiously, does not have Tesla's share, which has been a talking point as well. Grayscale, which is the world's largest digital asset management firm, posted 9 new job openings this week, which is kind of indicating that they are probably looking to launch an ETF. Also last week, crypto investment company CoinShares began trading on Nasdaq, and their IPO was oversubscribed by 400%, right? And also a Norwegian oil company is putting money in Bitcoin, which is called Acre. They announced a new unit which is dedicated to investing in Bitcoin. So it brings us to how some of the Scandinavian region is opening up to Bitcoin slowly, right? Then Ethereum improvement proposal, which is the EIP 1559, is apparently to be implemented in July, and it's created a lot of confusion with miners not being happy. And while it sounds exciting for ETH holders and application builders, definitely a majority of ETH miners, apparently over 60% of the network's hash power, which are opposing this new implementation of ETH Improvement Protocol 1559. But there are people saying that it may not impact miners' activity that much, and but it's going to be interesting to see what happens when so many miners are opposing this. Also, last week, Vitalik was on a podcast in an interview, and he said that there was some chance that some members of the ETH community, such as miners and perhaps people who don't want to take the risks of moving over to proof of stake, stay on ETH1 instead of moving to ETH2. So he did mention that. That's all for today, guys, and I hope the conversation around NFT was fun, since it's a major talking point for all of us. I'm sure you all wanted to be aware of what exactly it's doing, and and I loved sharing my bit with you. And thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you next week. Till then, be safe. See you next week. Bye bye.